What's good, fellas and ladies? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Israel Adesanya versus Poatan Quadrilogy. I'm going to just give a brief breakdown of the first three fights, just to hype up what's to come in the next 2 weeks. I'm actually really looking forward to this pay-per-view. Really excited to see what happens in the middleweight division. So in the first fight, Stylebender versus Pereira won. In my opinion, it was very cut and clear. Israel Adesanya won 2 rounds to 1. He won the first round with leg kicks, keeping away from Alex Pereira's strikes, weaving all over the place, landing nice body straights. Second round, I would say, was Pereira's. He landed better shots. He landed that hook a couple times. It was over the guard majority of the time, but it was better than before. He was a lot more aggressive, pressing Adesanya up against the cage. Third round was the most clear-cut round for Adesanya you could ever score. He was making Poatan miss all over the place. Wasn't able to land shit. He was landing combinations. Everything that Poatan would land in this round, aside from like one body strike that I'm going to highlight here in a second. That one body strike, which was beautiful, and I don't even know how Izzy took it so well, was basically the best shot that he landed of the entire fight. I don't know how all of the judges gave it to Poatan. Even in like the reaction to Izzy, like when Poatan's getting his hand raised, you could just tell that he did not expect to be losing. And I don't think the majority of people watching that did. But I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. They go on to rematch, and I mean, we know what happens in the rematch. For the fight fans and MMA fans that don't know about the rematch, though, I'll give you a quick breakdown, even though there's not much to say on it. It started out looking good for Izzy. It kind of looked like he was going to pick up the pace that he had in the first fight. But then he gets caught by that touch of death left hook and put the fuck out for the first time and only time in his career until, of course, their trilogy. But he wasn't even really put out in the trilogy bout. But yeah, man, this is something crazy, because to see a high-level striker like Israel Adesanya get knocked the fuck out with gloves that big, it just goes to show how much power this man has and how determined he was to take his head off. And speaking of determination, let's get into the third fight, the trilogy. In the UFC, the first MMA fight. The most dominant performance Israel Adesanya could have had, honestly, out of like a lot of his fights. Of course, it was closer than a couple of the people he's defended his throne against, just because of the attributes and because of how good Pereira is on the feet with kickboxing. Really does help that he's also the same build, though. That's something that Izzy has not had to deal with in the UFC. But yeah, I mean, that iron will, hands of stone, ends up coming into the 5th round and coming back from losing the entire fight and almost getting knocked out in the first round by Izzy. Which leads us to the 4th fight. The fight that is going to be happening next weekend. April fucking 14th, whatever the fuck. I don't even remember what the exact date is. But it doesn't matter because we don't have UFC this weekend, so who gives a fuck? It's a good card, though. Main event, Pereira versus Adesanya 4. Burns versus Masvidal co-main event. I'm going to give a quick prediction for both of those. Starting with Burns and Masvidal, I have to pick Gilbert Burns. I don't see what Maz can do. Maybe he can catch him on the feet, but it's unlikely. And for Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, I'm sticking with Israel Adesanya. Months ago when I made my short predicting this fight, I picked Izzy. I just feel like you can't count that man out, especially now that he's chasing his throne back. Like he's even said on his YouTube videos, the hunted is now the hunter. That's something he hasn't had to experience in a couple years because he's been a dominant champion. And I just fuck with people that chase greatness regardless. Anybody in any weight class. Female, male, doesn't matter. If you're chasing greatness, I'm going to be a fan. I'm going to talk about it on this channel. And I'm probably going to ride with you. But Alex Poatan is a dangerous, dangerous man. I think Izzy needs to get him out of here this time. I don't think there's any more fighting a perfect fight and ending the fight. Because Poatan has gone on to show time and time again now that he will keep coming down to fucking knock you out unless you can put him out. So I think Izzy needs to do that. I think he can do that within 3. We saw what he did in the first round of the trilogy. Almost knocked him the fuck out with that uppercut hook. I could see something similar happening. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sure a ton of you are going to say that you're siding with Alex Pereira. I get it. A lot of people also just don't like Izzy, so they're riding with Alex Pereira, which is some lame shit, but I understand that that's how a lot of fans work. But if you guys fuck with the content, give me a sub. I'm going to be posting a lot of fight announcements today. We've got some dope fucking fights announced, so stay tuned on the channel. I'll catch y'all.